Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Arcada. I just recorded 2 full reviews, one of which twice because my camera is a twat. And welcome to the Mailbag Showdown, where I answer various questions pertaining to anime and otaku culture in general. You can email me at mailbagshowdown@glassreflection.net. That is mailbagshowdown@glassreflection.net. Let's just get right into it, shall we? My first question comes in from Stephanie at Lilac Anime Reviews. My question is, you say you won't review something unless it's unlicensed or you own it on DVD, but what about those free playlists on YouTube from licensing companies, or better yet, Funimation's elite subscribers and their free streaming on their site? Would you ever consider anything to review if they were available to watch online? The problem with Funimation's site, with Crunchyroll, and even the legal things on YouTube is, while I can watch them, and while I could write a review after watching them, I wouldn't have any footage to put in my video reviews. That's my problem, because I would still have to go out and get fan subs or some other, not strictly speaking legal things in order to create the reviews that I do. And this is why I like to prefer things that are either straight unlicensed or something I can get on DVD. Even the few times that I do see something in the gray area where it's been licensed by like Funimation, but they haven't released it yet, I always make sure that I get the actual DVD set as soon as I can. Whether that be immediately the day it comes out, or basically as soon as I can financially do it without starving myself to death, because I am kind of still a university student with very little cash. Stephanie also asks for a recommendation. She says, I'm also curious to know if you have any sort of recommendation that you can give me for a series. I'm a big horror, suspense, thriller, and psychological fan, and am hoping for something for new and good to watch from that genre. My favorites include Monster, Paranoia Agent, and Higurashi. I own 2 of the DVDs of Lane, and I'm working on purchasing the rest as well as working on purchasing Shiki Part 2. Is there any other horror or psychological series that you can recommend? Much appreciated. Have you seen Perfect Blue yet? You say Paranoia Agent, so Perfect Blue is the natural continuation of that, even though it was technically done first. What else? Ghost Hound is another. I rather like Ghost Hound. Some people don't, but it's something there, and I can vouch for it. I loved it. Death Note, a classic, a little bit oversaturated when it comes to its fan base, but still, it's within the genre that you mentioned, and it's worth mentioning. And also, I haven't seen it myself, but I've heard good things about a show called Boogie Pop Phantom. Again, haven't seen it, so I can't personally vouch for it, but it's also within your little genre restrictions, so maybe that might be something else you enjoy as well. And if you do, let me know, because I'm curious. So I hope I helped you out. Next question. Okay, this one comes in from an anonymous person who says, do you plan to buy and review Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt? Or are you just not into that kind of anime? I'm not into that kind of anime? I am into every kind of anime. I'm just not gonna review hentai or anything of that very nature. I might get close, but I'm not gonna review anything of that, like, direct nature. I'm not gonna review porn. It's not what I do. Panty and Stocking, is just a matter of I never got around to it before it was licensed, and now that it's been licensed, I got it on DVD. And people are just like, well, why don't you just go get it? Well, I have a list of like 20 or 30 shows that I don't own that I need to get on DVD in order to review. Like, I need to get that, I need to get Rah Rah Rah, I need to get Ride Back. That's something I wouldn't mind looking at. Like, it's not that I just don't like that kind of show, I just haven't gotten around to it. So, indeed, when I do get a copy of Panty and Stocking, I will review it, but until then, I can't help you. I'm sorry. This next one comes in from Dark Hero Axel 2. Dear Arcada, I've been a big fan of yours for a while, and I thought I'd give this a try. I've been a big mech fan for years now, blame Gundam Wing, and I wanted to know your personal opinion on the genre as a whole. What's your favorite anime in the genre? Do you have any recommendations or diamonds in the rough? And are you currently watching any of the newer mech anime? I also wanted to ask this one more thing, and don't take this the wrong way, but do you ever plan to review a Gundam series in the future? I noticed that you haven't reviewed any of the franchise, well, to my knowledge at least. I could be horribly wrong. And I'd like to know your thoughts and opinions on the series as a whole. My personal opinion is that they're a good way of showing action. My favorite so far in the giant robot genre, I've seen several, but I don't know if I would necessarily say I have a favorite. I have seen several of the Gundam works. I watched the 00 series. I never actually got all the way through Season 2 of 00, but I rather like Season 1. I've seen all of 0083 Stardust Memory. Hated the ending of that. I own the first half of Gundam Wing. First half, because that was $50, and I mistakenly thought it was the whole show. Not realizing that now I have to go and spend another $50 on Part 2. Fancy that. And outside of Gundam, I've seen things like Gurren Lagann. I've seen Macross. Which Macross did I see? Macross Frontier. That was it. I rather enjoyed that. And I've heard good things about the older Macross series too, though I haven't got around to them. The only mech show that I reviewed to my immediate knowledge was Sokono Strain, or Strategic Armored Infantry, which I liked personally, but I know that other giant robot fans, like my good friend Professor Otaku, don't necessarily like them, so take it that... Though, okay. I think my favorite, if I had to put one down, would be Escaflowne. If you consider Escaflowne to be any sort of a giant robot show, because the Escaflowne itself is kind of a giant mech, so I would probably say that. The dub is horrible, but I like the show itself. So if I had to pin down my favorite giant robot show, that would be it currently. Though I haven't finished watching Gurren Lagann yet, so who knows. And I haven't gotten around to Gundam Wing either, so that will change eventually, I'm sure, but currently I would have to say Escaflowne. As for reviewing Gundam in the future, yes, totally. There have been several moments where I thought I was actually going to review 0083, but I just never got around to it. I'm going to totally review Wing when I get the other half. When I actually own 00, I'll review that, of course. And again, it's one of those things that I don't own it, and all of it's licensed, so I can't really touch it yet. This is what happens when you're broke and you got no money, and you're doing a review show that requires you to have, like, 4 anime a month. It's kind of draining on your wallet, so to speak. But I will indeed get to various Gundam shows, if not as many as I can. It's just I haven't got to them yet. So thank you, Dark Hero Axel 2. Your question is much appreciated. Next. From another anonymous viewer. Hello, good sir. I just finished reading Battle Royale and was wondering if there was an anime similar to it. Did you know that there's actually an anime called Battle Royale High School? It was made in like 87 or something, and I haven't seen it. I heard it's kind of shit, but that it's the first thing that comes up when you Google search Battle Royale and anime. I haven't actually read Battle Royale myself, though I think I get the general gist of it. It's a tournament-based show, is basically what you're looking for. In recent memory, there's a new show that just came out this past season called Excel World that's very similar, I would think. And I've also been getting around to watching Future Diary, which I think has the same sort of theme. This is all just like speculation on my point, because I haven't read Battle Royale, so I can't actually... I'm doing my best to try and recommend to you what you could watch because of it, but I haven't read the book, so I don't know too much about it. I heard it's also a lot like Hunger Games, but again, I haven't read Hunger Games or watched it yet. Man, I gotta do more things that aren't related to anime. Nah. So I don't know if I've necessarily helped you, but Excel World and Future Diary are things that I probably recommend that you go check out anyway, even if they're not directly related to Battle Royale at all. So I hope I helped. Sorry if I didn't. This next question comes in from Emran, and I very much hope I pronounced that right. While the email itself is very long, the general question is, what are your thoughts and would you review the anime Initial D? I have been meaning to get around to Initial D. I watched the Tokyo Pop version of Initial D the first time about I think it was a year ago. I remember watching it at the beginning of the summer, so it was either last year or the year before. And I watched the Tokyo Pop dub for Season 1 and Season 2. Then I watched the Funimation dub of Stage 3, the movie, and then Season 3, which is Stage 4. And you're right. If you compare the dubs of the two of Initial D, if you compare the Tokyo Pop dub and the Funimation dub, it is very different. But I can't actually tell you which one I prefer. If you want to know why this is, it's because the Tokyo Pop dub has, like, the old greats into it. It has Dave Wittenberg, Crispin Freeman, Steve Blum, all those guys, the guys that, like, before Funimation really took off as a dubbing powerhouse, these were the guys you wanted in your dub. And they're all in Initial D. And now you got the new dub for Initial D from Funimation, and it has all the popular Funimation regulars into it. So it's like, it's a real clash of the titans, this show is. And the reason I haven't gotten around to reviewing it yet is, well, take a guess. I don't own the Funimation version yet. I have the Tokyo Pop dub, and I could just review that, but, like, if I'm going to review Initial D, I do have to do the dubbing compare, which means I have to own a copy of at least Stage 1. From Funimation's dub, and I just haven't done that yet, but I am a really big fan of Initial D. Like, a ridiculous fan. When they announce that they're going to continue that show, I will be all over that shit, man. I love it. Yes! Okay. Sorry about that. Moving on. Our last recommendation of the episode comes in from Tokyo Girl. Dear Arcata, I'm looking for a new action show to watch. Shows in this category I enjoy include Bebop, Trigun, the original Fullmetal Alchemist, Ghost in the Shell, Black Lagoon, Hellsing Ultimate, and Slayers. Slayers counts, right? I mean, I know it's a comedy, but anyway. Oh, and something without an overwhelmingly amount of moe would be nice. Thanks. Based on what you suggested, I would give out Soul Eater, Angel Beats, and Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. Have you seen those yet? Also, obviously, Ghibli. If you haven't seen anything by Hayao Miyazaki, those fit your criteria almost to a T, though those are almost assumed, because even non-anime fans watch those. So, Soul Eater, Angel Beats, Tsubasa. Hopefully I helped you out. Let me know if it did. Thanks. And I think that's more than enough for today. I got a lot more emails than I actually thought I was going to. I actually thought I would only have enough for, an episode a week, or something like that, but I just finished this. I just went through as many as I could, and I still have a ridiculous amount in my inbox. So I'm going to be doing these mailbags as often as I can, hopefully every couple of days, and hopefully you continue to enjoy them. And ask me questions. Try and get interesting. Don't ask me really stupid and silly questions, though. Don't ask me questions that I can't actually answer. So nothing like, who would win? I don't care. I don't. I'm going to be honest, I don't. But if you have anything about a show or my thoughts on any genre, I am more than happy to comply, and again, I'm also very happy to give recommendations depending on what your individual tastes are. I may not always be able to help you in that regard, but I do my best, and at the very least, you might have at least one show to enjoy. So until next time, I bid you adieu. Ladies, gentlemen, and others, stay frosty.